G'day folks. Well, I figured it's time to do a bit of work on the computer since I've got some new bits to put into it. As you can see, I've got my old Athlon X2 board in there. I took it out of the old case and tried with the ATI Radeon 5970, and it actually worked quite well. It worked better than it ever has, but it's still not up there. Like, the poor mainboard just doesn't have the guts to run it, bottlenecking, all the other issues. And yeah, it did alright, but it's time to upgrade properly. So I've got to strip the main board and everything out. I'll keep the optical drive and all that sort of thing, or maybe not. No, that's not even a SATA optical drive. I'll take that out as well. I think I've got a SATA optical around somewhere, but I might have to stick with IDE for the moment. But I'll endeavour to replace that with a SATA drive. I know the power supply is facing up the wrong way. A lot of people said that the fan's supposed to face down, but this thing runs so cool it doesn't even run the fan. There's that much positive case pressure from these massive fans at the front of it that it doesn't give a shit. I think I've only seen that fan run once, and that was running Far Cry on pretty high resolution. Far Cry 3 that was. The poor PC was having a bit of trouble with it, and it decided to spool up the power supply fan, which you do notice, it does make a bit more noise. But overall, this thing has pretty damn good case pressure, filtered inlets, everything like that. This is a Lian Li First Night, and it's a decent case. See, I've already blown all the dust off it, but just from about a month's worth of use, it was already covered. So they do their job. They're very fine screens. Yeah, so I better strip this all out, get rid of all that. I might see about turning the power supply over anyway. But yeah, pretty good stuff. That hard drive comes out and goes with the board. That's a 180 gig or something Seagate. Not too trustworthy, but still works okay. I'm going to build that back up into a working PC, just take everything out and continue using this card that Alex 993CC1 donated. It's a GV N4600OC, sorry, N460 overclock edition. AMD, or sorry, not AMD, NVIDIA 460 overclock edition, and that's a pretty good card. In some ways that actually performed better than the 5970 because it doesn't bottleneck as much, it doesn't have as many problems. So that's a really good card. That's going back into this, and this will probably maybe even serve out here as an editing PC if I can find room for it, or maybe just a smaller case. I'll just simplify it and get a much smaller case for it and use it like that, because the power supply in there is almost new as well. But that's where we're at the moment. I'm going to strip this out and then we'll look at putting some new parts into it after this one's back together and working. I was just thinking, since this is a small ATX board, that will drop straight into this wall PC. I don't have to replace it. Perfect. Just trying to work out where I'm going to put another whole PC in here, but I'm thinking, why not upgrade this one? I mean, it's already getting to the point where I can barely edit videos on it, so yeah, I'll just replace it. I need a good cooler for it though. It does get pretty hot in the shed, especially when I'm not here and this thing's left running all day uploading. The North Bridge gets pretty hot. It's still on 40. There's the thermistor jammed into the heatsink. It's still on almost 40. And it was about 55 when I got in today. It was really hot. But, I don't know, this board probably wouldn't give a shit. I'll have to try and wedge a thermistor in there and keep an eye on it, but yeah. I could do a bit of modding to it, but for now I'll just pop it back in its case and make it work again. Okay, well this PC is working again, so I can recover and transfer whatever files I want tonight, or tomorrow, whenever I get around to it. As you can see, I'm using, it's actually used to TVs. That's the thing. I've got the graphics drivers are set up for the Sharp Aquos 46-inch LCD, so I didn't get any display output off a square monitor. I couldn't even connect it because I don't have a. I could have used a D-sub connector adapter, but not worth it. Just get one of the junk TVs out of storage. Not very good because it's got the same problem as the Samsung I tried to repair, but yeah. When you see that half-dark screen and really fuzzy and blurry, dead panel. That's a panel issue, unfortunately. And very slow fade out of things. So yeah, I did find out that the Samsung that I have is absolute junk, and I wasted a little bit of money on a T-Con board, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, back to PCs and other things. I've got the case stripped clean, and I'm going to just build from scratch. Let's see what we can do tonight. Probably not an awful lot, but I'll at least get the main board and everything set in there, and we'll go from there tomorrow. Okay, let's have a look at what we get in the way of main board. This is the Asus P9X79. Pretty decent board, like not top end, it was fairly affordable. I guess you'd say middle of the range. Various headers and things you get rid of with it. SLI jumper. Nice faceplate with a black coating. Again, colour coding, that sort of stuff. It's even got a foam semi-conductive conductive shield. Right angle SATA connectors. Definitely need that because not so much on this board, but the board over here, the SATA connectors are directly under where the graphics card sits. So you have to have the right angle ones. I had to special order these because I just couldn't put a bigger card in this computer at the time. I mean, yeah, it's a bit of a pain, but where are the SATA on this one? Where is the SATA connectors? Oh, they're under there. No? Oh, they plug in from the side. That's alright. They're the SATA connectors there. Okay. That solves that mystery. I hope my power supply is the correct plug for that. Unless it's a maybe a two pair 12 volt like this one. So yeah, there's a second connector that I haven't used on this one. I'm thinking that's what it is. I hope that's what it is. And that power supply is not all that old, so yeah. Oh well, if I have to stop and order a power supply, no big deal. Fitting instructions, air cooling. Closed loop liquid cooling for this one. Drivers, and that's about it. That's what you get. Anyway, better get into focused mode, not video mode, and get this thing together and in. I know this video is going to be a bit patchy, but I'm not going to do it step by step on it. It's just a matter of getting it together and getting it right, so we'll do a bit here and there. Okay, well, yeah, if I don't mention this now, I'll get a million comments telling me what it is, but it is two of these 4-pin 12-volt CPU power connectors paired together. They just go in like that. That's what that connector's for. Yeah, this power supply is well and truly adequate for it. Plenty of connectors. I should have gotten the modular one that you plug each loom into, but that was a lot more expensive at the time. So I might upgrade anyway. I'm liking these solid state caps too. Sexy. Some nice componentry on this one. RAM modules. Yes, 8 RAM modules. I can put up to 64 gigabytes in this. That's pretty damn good. And yes, I can USB flash the BIOS with a USB stick if I have to. North bridge, south bridge combo, I guess. Yep. Nothing else there. It's not like main boards have a north and a south bridge these days. It's just a north bridge combo, I believe. It's been a while since I've actually bought brand new hardware. Like probably 2002 was the last time I bought brand new hardware. It was an Athlon XP 2400 or something. No, it was an 1800 XP. Overclocked 2200 and it did pretty well. It's nice. USB 2.0. Firewire, everything. I just wanted a basic board. I don't care about a lot of the flashy stuff that they put onto it. That's sort of why I bought this board. It was one of the more simplified boards that they had, and still there's a million different features. Customise all your fan speeds and things. Yeah, fan expert for PWM controlled fans. Crazy. I'm also doing a bit of a Skype chat with Alex993 at the same time as doing this, and yeah, we're just talking about video card differences and things, and this HD 5970 actually performed worse than the 460 overclock that he gave me in this board, simply because it just couldn't keep up with it, I guess. Data rate problems, bus speed, something like that. That card actually works better, and it runs Far Cry 3 pretty good, but you just can't turn on all of the special effects and things. Like special transparent, well, not transparencies, but shadowing effects, and there's just so many different effects that you just can't run on some of these older cards. But as he was saying, feature wise, some of these new ones just blow them out of the water. But yeah, I used to play Counter-Strike Source, or not Counter-Strike Source, Counter-Strike Beta back in like 98 or whenever it came out. Like we started getting beta versions off of was it Planet Half-Life? We started getting beta versions of Counter-Strike in like 97, 98, 99 onwards. And when you got the smoke grenades and things going, a few people throw smoke grenades in, my machine would just tank because it can't render that many sprites and semi-transparencies. Whereas nowadays you've got amazing movie, like Hollywood grade special effects, transparencies, explosions, particle effects, millions of pieces of debris flying around, and yeah, the machines can just pump it out. Really good. So yeah, this video is going to be fairly long, but it's worth it. And that's the chip. That's the i7-3820 LGA 2011 socket. It's about the same size as a old style Xeon. The chips under these heat sinks wouldn't be much bigger, but the actual top cap over the chip would be a lot smaller. The Xeons just have a bigger board with lots of SMD capacitors and things on them. A couple of 8-pin ICs or something, SMD ICs on them. But yeah, that's about roughly how big the chip is. Pretty decent. And a nice dual locking socket. Release one. See how that end lifts up. Release the other. And then you can lift it up. So yeah, nice stuff. Really nice stuff. There we go. CPU's locked in. Vengeance is loaded. That's some pretty mean looking RAM. I've got to give it that much. Since I'm not using an extra large air cooler, I got the ones with the bigger fins. You can get Vengeance with a low profile heatsink, but I got the big ones. I'm going to go with water cooling all the way on this one. Yeah, lots of stuff to still go in, but a lot of people want to know what the water cooling setup's like, and it's pretty much what I thought. It's basically a miniature version of a car heater core, which you probably could. I got a few heater cores down the back there somewhere. I could make my own. Very thin tubes running through it. Yeah, it's just basically a miniature heater core. And nice. Was that a beetle that just attacked me? It is too. What the hell is another one? Okay. Time to close the door. We're under attack by beetles. I don't need bugs in the system. No pun intended. Yeah. Delta fan. Made by Delta anyway. There are bugs everywhere. Okay, definitely closing the door. Okay, door's closed. We shouldn't get any more bugs in the system. That's the main cooling fan, which is screwed to the face of the heater core. Heat exchanger. Various adapter kits. This thing suits a number of different sockets. I think you can even go down as far as 775. No, 1156 is the oldest, I think it is. Yeah, LGA 2011, 1366, 1155, and 1156. So it doesn't quite fit it won't fit a 775, but you'll probably make it. And that is a pump slash heat exchanger unit, pickup unit. That's what you mount on top of the CPU, in other words. Acetec. Okay. So that's the actual manufacturer for Intel. They just rebrand it. Typical. So one of those is going to be fan, and that one there will plug into a mainboard header. and it comes with a manual, which is very nice. Why do they seal the manual? It makes it a bit hard to read. But yeah, there's not much to it. Some people reckon these things leak. Actually, looks like there's a bit of residue around there already, but it's probably from assembling and sealing. That collars, yeah, the collars move, but those hoses are on there pretty tight. Yeah, it's kind of worrying when you actually find propylene glycol residue already on it, but it seems wherever they fitted it off there's a little bit. I'll give it a try, but I do eventually want to upgrade it. Main reason I bought a cheap, or sort of cheap, water cooling setup was because the CPU didn't come with an air cooler. Most of them come with a standard fan heatsink like that. This CPU, none of them said that they came with their own cooler. You have to pick one from another selection, so that's what I got. Still a neat little investment. I could always butcher it and build my own anyway. I could incorporate this as an auxiliary cooler in another unit, but yeah, it's kind of cool. I just have to find a supplier for propylene glycol when I go and build my other one. A good friend of mine in the States is sending me a pump anyway, and that reminds me I've got some Core 2 CPUs to send him, but I'll probably use the pump that he's sending me. It's a fairly expensive item as it is, so I'll use the pump that he's sending me as well as a assortment of home hobby shop goodies and build my own. That's half the fun of playing with PCs. This is just to get out of trouble for the time being, get this thing up and running. I don't intend on leaving it permanent. I want to build my own little beastie setup. Maybe even a water block setup for this. Very hard to find though. And there are a lot of components on these that get hot, including the voltage regulators that are underneath the fan and don't get proper cooling as it is, because it's like a vortex under there. Anyway, onwards. I just noticed this TV doing strange things. The longer I leave it, the sadder it gets. It's the first time I've run it a really long time since I, well, pretty much got it for nothing at the local tip. The failure point's up here. Ooh, okay. Like that. Yeah, where the ribbons meet the panel starts to play up a bit. There we go. Yeah, it's the film connections between the panel and the boards that run along the top of it. No, I lost the sweet spot. Like that though. This goes kind of crazy. The Samsung would probably do the same, but it's been like that for so long it just doesn't do it anymore. Typical LCD failure mode for probably a cheap panel. I'll have to open that one up one day and find out. Anyway, back to it. I'm just organising the case and working out where to put the Intel cooler. I'm taking that fan out and I'm going to put the radiator back here. Can't open the system and run the hoses through here and have it external, so it's going to have to sit in here. Not hard though. Okay, well, I got some of it in there. Managed to just squeeze the radiator in there. Cooler, yeah, that'll mount like that, I think. Hopefully with the Intel logo facing up. I guess that's the way they designed it. 7970 is going to come out again, but I just put it in there to do the mock-up and it all looks pretty good. Well, this thing's going to be a beast. It already weighs a ton. The card alone weighs as much as the old main board. It's a monster. Still got to fit the fan on there. So with a bit of luck that'll also pull a lot of heat away from the RAM. It's very close though, but it just clears it. It's a close fit. But yeah, it's in there. But yeah, I look forward to doing an external separate setup. It'll definitely look a lot better. And just notice this thing, even though I've loaded up Magica and I've had it up for the last 10 minutes, it's still showing the desktop icons. You can see the Deus Ex icon. Yeah, this LCD is special. It's got a special little problem. Oh, there we go. Found its sweet spot again. It's just a bad connection on the panel, but they're really hard to fix, if not impossible sometimes. Bit of sellotape and some sticky foam apparently fixes them if you sandwich it between the housing, but yeah, that's one screwed monitor. I don't watch TV, so I just consider every HD flat panel to be a monitor. It's like a 37-inch monitor to me. It's a shame. It would make a nice workshop monitor, but it doesn't work properly, so oh well. Enough rambling about computers and LCDs for one night. Let's edit this video and put it together and upload it, assuming the computer doesn't have a fit like it did last night. I haven't been able to do any decent editing for a while, and hopefully with that in the PC that's been cracking the shits and that in my bedroom, should be able to kick goals all the way. I notice I've even got sound. I'm only using HDMI, so this thing just puts out sound straight through HDMI. That's pretty good. I didn't realise that video cards with HDMI actually process sound until recently. Oh, that shows how old school I am. I'm used to video cards just being video cards. Thanks for watching.